Hey guys, I'm Callie Lewis.
And I am John P. You know what I'm wondering? We've been talking a lot about mobile gaming all week. How do we get better mobile games?
You know, I could use better mobile games because I get addicted to games, but only for like a week or two. So maybe.
Is that just because you have a short attention span in general?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm wondering if there were better games, you know, kind of like the high produced games that are on consoles.
Like expensive,
were on mobile.
expansive.
Exactly. Maybe if they were on mobile, I'd be more interested in the long term. So Kevin, how do platform owners help get that movement over?
See, I disagree. I think mobile games are pretty awesome today already, and I've already wasted enough time playing these pretty awesome games.
Yeah, we've heard about your...
But I think, part of it is time, right? All things heal with time, and I think with time you're going to see more mobile games or more platform games come to mobile.
I disagree with a little bit here. I think it ultimately comes down to voting with your wallet, because if you still look at console games, brand new, they're $60 when they come out, and people still buy them, no problems, where people are still complaining about paying $2, $3 for a mobile game. Until that price differential comes up or something changes in that dynamic, I don't think you're going to see the studios invest the sort of serious talent in game writing that we've seen on console gaming versus mobile.
I think a lot of it comes down to discoverability too. Android for a long time had a bad rap, but there are no good games, or there are no games at all. As Google Play, as Google's online store has evolved and progressed, and it's changed even recently in 2013 and had a pretty major shift, discoverability has gotten a lot better. They're featuring games better. For iOS, that's still all important, right? To be featured in the App Store just means immediate dollars. It means the same thing for Google. Now it's much easier to find these good apps because the people in charge of curating them are doing a better job at it and saying, here are some things you should try, and the crap just falls to the floor.
The platform owners have done a really sucky job so far. If you look at all of them, Apple basically let the platform devalue entirely. They did nothing to protect the price of games. No premium app stores. Their solution was, hey, in-app purchases, which led to the freemium and paymium games.
You know who did the best job? Palm.
But okay, but so BlackBerry, Microsoft throws money at developers. BlackBerry courts them. BlackBerry goes out of their way to make making games as easy as possible. Microsoft, arguably the only game maker who has a mobile platform, has not made AAA titles for their platform. There's just nobody doing a good job at this.
Right.
I think part of it comes down to the tools available to cater to all the platforms also. I mean, the challenge in mobile is that there's not just one platform if you want to hit everybody.
Suck it up, make us better games.
I guess in consoles too, right? You pick are you going for Xbox, are you going for PlayStation?
Speaking of the different platforms, do we really need multi-platforms? Is it okay to just target a single individual platform, or do you have to go after all of them at once?
Does letterpress need to come to Android?
So I would argue that games like that, because these multiplayer games, there's this thing that they have cross-platform development kits like Unity, where you can make one game and deploy it very easily cross-platform. And that's good for developers because they can make much more money at a wider audience. For example, they could even put it on the Xbox proper or the PlayStation proper. It's a big value prop. The only downside is that you then get the lowest common denominator games. You don't get BBM integration. You don't get Game Center. You don't get Xbox Live. So
So you're saying developers really have to develop for each platform in order to avoid...
To me, I like the balance of both. I think that the big titles should be cross-platform, but you should have these little boutique titles that really show off. Like if Android gets the next accelerometer that's much better than everybody else, it's nice to have a title that shows off the technology of that device, like NVIDIA maybe.
And we need to not be afraid to pay for games, period. Now, I'm not sure I'm going to invest $50, $60 in a mobile game because of the way I use my phone. But you need to not be afraid to pay $3 and $4 and $5 and maybe even $10 for a really good game that you're going to spend a lot of time playing.
I'd pay $20. I have no problem with that.
Well, and maybe part of that is the refund process needs to get better, right?
Yeah. Or trials.
Trials.
Like Windows Phone has trials, Android has trials. On iOS, you're still faced with that decision. Do I give it $10 or nothing? You have no way of testing it out.
And that blows my mind. That's still a problem, because it seems like such a tried model that works that consumers want.
Indies could actually have a big impact on this, couldn't they?
Yeah, definitely. I actually prefer indie games on Windows Phone for one because developers are indie developers are quicker to move than the big studios, and they can actually come up with some. They're not restrained. They can try new things, and they can get it out there very quickly. And they tend to be more responsive to consumers who have complaints and need things fixed. So I actually prefer the indie game model.
All right, you guys know what to do. Leave your comment below. Tell us what you're thinking. Tell the whole Mobile Nations team what you're thinking. And
Come back tomorrow.
exactly. I'm Callie Lewis.
I'm John P.
Bye-bye.